Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show.
Oh yeah, how we doing today? It is good morning on a Tuesday. Hope everyone is well. Get up and let's get going. It's Dave in the AM. Definitely get me unmuted over there on Podbean. Good morning, Podbean. I just ended the music. We run two different controls on that. Have to remember to do that. It's just me this morning, and on your Tuesday. Hope you're well. Let's have a great Tuesday. Got lots going on today, and got to get up and get going and get with it. A new month. Welcome to July. Oh boy, we've already been in the heat of July, but now we officially cross into July. Those hot, hot months, July and August. You know what? It's funny. Sometimes it could be even a little cooler than it has been, but we'll see. Hopefully, we won't have any of those triple-digit days. We've been right at it with the heat index. We've definitely been in it already. I'm hoping that we don't see that as we go into the next couple of months. Well, it's triple digits in Washington as they're fighting to get the big, beautiful bill. Some are fighting for it. Some are fighting against it. The margins are very narrow, very narrow. Two Republicans, we already know, Tillis. One, North Carolina, is against it. And so there's only three that can lose. It's very narrow. This is where the negotiations go, right? This is where the pork gets added. This is where the things get taken out, modified. The president is saying for his part that if it is not voted on, there's going to be a massive tax increase on Americans. We will see. This is the language when they're trying to get something done, and we will see what they're able to do. This will probably go all the way up to that midnight hour or however late it is before they go on break for the holiday. And the latest report is there may be as many as 6 Republican senators holding out. And so that's the way it goes. Now, question would be, would any Democrat cross over? We can think of one that might. It depends. Would Fetterman join with his cross the aisle and shake hands? He has done that, but can't count on that. So they're going to have to bring some of these holdouts in the fold. The two lead ones probably not going to change their minds. Senators Rand Paul, Kentucky, Tom Tillis of North Carolina. I guess if they gutted it enough, they would, but they probably will not. But there are others. There's already been deals made to win over votes. Alaska is one of those. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican Alaska, has already been one of those that has been given some billions with a B, into her state to help with share of nutrition assistance payments. So there's already been that, and some helps for fishermen of some deal. Anyway, $25 billion, I believe, has already been promised within this for Alaska to hold that vote. Newsmax is reporting that Senator Rick Scott of Florida, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Mike Lee of Utah, and Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming have demanded a vote on an amendment that would slash Medicaid further by changing the formula used to determine what share of the program's bills are paid by the federal government. Johnson said he will wait to see whether Republicans adopt that amendment before deciding whether he will support the overall legislation. Should the proposal succeed, the bill would lose the support of senators who are alarmed at the level of Medicaid cuts it would impose, as well as Republicans in the House and districts with large populations of Medicaid beneficiaries. Senator Susan Collins, Republican Maine, God, I wish she'd take that R off her name because she's not much of a Republican anyway, who is not committed to voting for the bill, planned to offer an amendment to raise the tax rate for the most affluent Americans back to what it was before the 2017 tax cuts were enacted. Collins has said she is unhappy with the legislation and that it does not contain a bigger fund to help rural hospitals, which is an issue, even in Georgia here, absorb the Medicaid cuts laid out in the bill. So there is the battle royale. Nothing new. This happens all the time. There'll be the press conferences out in front as they are in cubby holes of anywhere they can get. And they'll give their updates to their social media platforms and also give to the legacy media those interviews and lay out their beliefs and whether they're for it, against it, what needs to change. So this is a hard one. The president will see what kind of ability he has to push this through. This sets the course for his agenda for this term, and he's running some pretty good opposition. According to another article, members of the House Freedom Caucus said their Republican colleagues needed to make major changes before they can come in good conscience support the Senate version of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act because it does not contain enough spending cuts. The 32 members of the caucus took to X to voice their concern, saying the Senate version of the bill adds $651 billion to the deficit, and that's before interest costs, which nearly doubled the total, the group said on the social media platform X. That's not fiscal responsibility. It's not what we agreed to, they wrote. Republicans must do better. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, the current version of the bill would add $3.3 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. President Trump has issued a July 4th deadline for the bill to become law. So here we go. There's 960 pages. They read those off. That's before any modifications, amendments, changes are made to it. There's pictures of the staffers bringing in carts just filled with these things, copies for different people. Just imagine all the trees. In this digital age, we have to print those things off. Imagine all the trees that are cut down. We always talked about how technology would save the trees. Now, we print more now than we probably ever have, to be honest. People say we're paperless, we're this, we're that. Not exactly true. And we print in government, they use a lot of paper. A lot of paper. If you imagine the print that they have and then they make changes, you at least have to print again those pages. Maybe you don't print the whole thing, or maybe they do. Who knows? Can you imagine the reams of paper that go through? See the paper truck backing up. We need more. Oh, we need ink. We're out of ink. I could hear the copiers just whirring as they're just printing, 960 pages. It's like that scene in 9 to 5 with Jane Fonda, and I'm not a Jane Fonda fan at all, but it was a cute movie. But she messes up the copier and it's going crazy. That's what I envision. Some staffer, they're pressuring her. More copies. The thing going crazy. Papers going everywhere. Somebody comes in and goes, "What the heck is going on in here?" Oh, I've seen I've seen people get really mad at copiers before and printing things that don't work, or tickets you have to print for a job to put on a product or something. Oh, some good old boys down here. They don't like those things. We used to have the old top that came out of they just came straight out of the box. It had the punched, ends on it that you could tear the ends off and you could get your ticket. Those things were notorious for snapping right in the middle of a print, and then feeding sideways. And if you were talking, not paying attention, it's all a big mess. And people would just pull those out and try to get to a good copy. Sometimes it was just bad paper. They cut it wrong, and it would snap going through there. I was like, how are we saving money here? Then later we went to a regular ticket print operation, which we still use basically the same kind of general idea. It's just upgraded over the years, but it is smaller. I don't know what the cost is versus, but I can remember 34 years ago that was like and you always hated to be the one where it ran out. You'd say, "Oh, there's one more ticket." Nobody wanted to get the next one ready. Just the aggravation of getting paper ready. Can you imagine? It's pretty intense right now, I'd say, around the Capitol. Oh, and all the negotiations are going on, all the backdoor conversations that's going on as they try to get a deal made. We'll see what happens. There's an article on the New York Post that says that Trump threatens to unleash Doge on Musk to save money tied to his numerous government subsidies. The war of the words continues, on these things. As we see, they just can't play nice. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to go into it, but it's just more war of the words. Another, the family, and there's been a lot of talk back and forth about the sniper out in Idaho, because the family were Trump supporters, so everybody on the left began to make assumptions about this sniper named Wes Rowley. I hate to say the name, but just to be clear, that's the last time I'm going to say it. Who shot dead 2 firefighters after he lured them into the woods with a brush fire. They've now broken their silence, saying they, quote, do not understand how his heinous crimes happen. At this time, the family of, I'm not going to say his name, would like to offer our most heartfelt condolences to the families of those whose lives were taken and to the community at large. Coeur d'Alene. His family told the Post in a statement issued through their attorney, Justin Wittenden, on Monday, quote, there are no words that can suffice for this tragedy and the infinite losses suffered by those affected by this shooting. We do not understand why this happened or how it came about. They continued, our hearts and spirits are broken for the lost and hurting and for our own loss as well, the family added, explaining they intended to cooperate fully with investigators as they, quote, deal with the grief of this heinous tragedy in our own family. A social media post has been released from this person, which says, quote, I'm going hunting. That was posted hours before the attack and has him in a top of camouflage and black face or whatever they put on their face. This person, and there's a lot that we don't know, but from social media posts I've seen, this person underwent and I will use the word, a transition of sorts. To what extent that was, and we've seen some of this. I want to hear more. I'll be careful how I say that, but as obviously was changes in how this person's appearance, and this has been a problem and something that's nobody really wants to talk about. But some of these drugs that they're put on have really, altered, or maybe there's already something going on, but it enhanced that and altered their thinking to be violent. And if you look back at the mass shootings just in America, and you look at the dirty little secrets that they don't talk about, is how much, what medications they're on, what companies make those, and who's and how it has affected them. Now that could be because they overprescribed, or they overtook, or they cut out very quickly, or didn't take it correctly, or just the side effects of some of those medications that absolutely are mind altering and affect them. I don't know if that happened in this case, but there are pictures of this individual that definitely show their change. Good morning, Chucko. 21518 on Instagram. Love the American flag logo there. Appreciate you coming in this morning. Hope you're doing well. And to all those that are coming into the stream, sometimes I can't see your name unless you chat, but Instagram does show that. But we appreciate you being here. But it's a horrid thing. I mean, it's whatever the reason, it shouldn't have happened. But it's a rush to judgment. It's always. It's not the way we are right now. Is when there is a tragedy, there's always that's the first thing to go to social media for, to find out who they voted for. And it's crazy. And it happens both ways. You can find nuts anywhere. Evil people both parties. I mean, there's always that fringe movement who may support someone, or have I vote for, or even have be actively even campaigning for. I mean, both sides have had their fair share of nuts. And that's kind of a sad indication of where we're at right now in society. That's the main thing we go for, so they can rush to social media and post and say, look what this party or this party produced. Yeah, goes, we knew it. I mean, it always got some snarky comment. Now, calm down on that. Let investigations roll out. And certainly I love that podcasters and things are putting information out. And I think they should, because things are, and we do, if you have it, release it. But the intent to just go after someone, within sometimes minutes of a tragedy, once they know who it is, and scathe a political party. There may be a lot of problems with politicians. Certainly, we see that in our nation, but it's a great leap, because we always talk about how unfair it is when they do the president that way. But yet sometimes people are very quick to do that the other way without all the facts being in. But that's where we're at. So it's not going to change. It's just the nature of it, how we act as a nation now. And people are always looking for a quick gotcha, or I told you so, and some post back, and some views, and some follow backs, and I refuse to get caught up into that. My initial posts are usually, this is horrible. Pray for the families, safety to the first responders and police, and in this case, that was certainly my thoughts. But in saying all that, not going to change it. This is the way it is. But there's a lot more that needs to be investigated here. His run-ins with the law were all minor previously to this event. He appeared to be living in his car, and interacted with police at least 5 times since arriving in that community in 2024. They were minor, they said, consisted of little more than trespassing reports and welfare checks from people who saw this individual. I don't want to keep repeating the name. I don't want to give him any glory. Parked on their property. He had no criminal record in Idaho, nor in his previous homes of California and Arizona. He was born in California and endured a difficult divorce between his parents when he was 10 years old in 2015. A split which saw his father allegedly threaten to start a fire, interesting, and shoot his mother. According to court documents obtained by CNN, we'll give credit there, though the father said those accusations were false. The suspect also aspired Well, it's an interesting twist here. To be a firefighter working in forestry, according to his grandfather, and may have been in Idaho to pursue that career. Wow, that is I had not seen that before. Um, we were in our show last night. I don't know how long this has been out there, but what a strange twist of events there. Um, as we see, sorry, I had to look at something. One of my streams was acting funny. Hopefully, it's straight now. I believe happens when you engineer for yourself. You have to look at those things. And again, there's a lot here we don't know. But if that was true, that's a very profound thing to have happen at 10 years old in a very tragic way. Very, very strange. It seems a little not coincidental. It could be a direct. I don't know, but that's 10 years old. Children, and we see this in America. Uh, Children who are in abusive relationships as a child is witnessing that between mother and father and others, but boyfriends, whatever. They certainly it could lead to that. I mean, somebody that wake up one day and all of a sudden become a wife beater uh, or an abuser of some kind. They usually have been abused or witnessed it, and it has caused problems. Now, again, there's a lot that needs to happen here. A lot of investigation, a lot of the medical part, the toxology. What was this person? What they have in their system? Were they on some of those mind altering? Were they, in fact, trying? Some people have suggested there was a change going on for them. Um, I don't know, but that's horrible. And of course, the family's getting out in front of it. I get that. Now I mean, that these last couple of mass shootings, because of failures of the parents to be parents, they have went to jail in these school shootings because they, in fact, bought weapons for their child when they knew they were having major mental issues and or gave them access to them, and just so they have been arrested. So certainly, you're going to see lawyer up. You're going to see the statement, and you're going to see we don't know what's going on here. So there'll be a lot of that, and their lives, but they could be totally innocent here. I'm certainly in no position to accuse them of anything, but their lives are ruined. I mean, we know that. I mean, just because of what's happened, they're forever attached to this. I mean, I've always wondered what that must feel like, for somebody that didn't do anything wrong, and the child has went off and did something horrid like this. Um, Even as an adult, what how do it would change your life. How do you live with that? How do people change around you? You become a pariah to the community, to many anyway. It would have to be very difficult. And if you were actively involved, it would become a legal matter, and you would be locked up maybe for a long time. Which I'm not against that. I'm just saying that would be that would change everything. And then what if there's other children involved, and how that maybe it's better that they're taken. But anyway, everybody's lives change. We go all the way back to Columbine, and I really zeroed in and researched a lot into that as much as I could from a distance. Watched every video that was released except the one they've never released. I don't think they have. I haven't searched in a while, but I never think they've ever released the one video, but watched those hours of videos. And that they come from affluent, parents, people that had money, but the parents were very just not even invested. I mean, they making bombs in their bedroom and walking past with sports bags filled with shotguns and high-powered rifles and ammo and stuff. You got to be a parent. You got to investigate. There's something your gut tells you. So they didn't. I'm saying they have any idea that was going to happen, but they weren't. They weren't being what a parent does. Parents, you just got to have that gut knowledge. Something's not right. Do a little investigating. something. That's like going to, you leave home, the kids are at home, I'm going to circle back. Just make sure, give it 15, 20 minutes, circle back, make sure they didn't invite somebody over, shouldn't have been invited over, that they're, you want to have trust, but you also verify. Trust, but verify. That's definitely a parent's job. Can't play ignorant. I mean, you got to know. They're building bombs right there in your own home. You can't ignore that. I mean, you got to be involved in that and find out what's going on. So that's what was happening there. This person was off. I mean, they were away. So there's no evidence that they to this point that they were involved, that they even knew that they were actively had assisted or in any way. But it is a strange story, and my heart goes out to the firefighters, their families, and yes, to those folks. I would hate for that. I mean, if they're totally innocent to this, and like I said, I don't know if there's any siblings or anything. I haven't really dug into it deep. I've just been following the story a little bit, so we'll see what happens with that. But we're seeing a lot of a rise in this, or it seems as though, I don't know the official statistic. We're seeing, it feels like a rise in, you get the copycats, you get the others that are, and you got to be on guard. I mean, but how would you know? You're just doing your job. You get a call, brush fire, 26 acres, burning or whatever it was, and then you're coming under fire. I mean, I don't know how are we going to get to the point in America where the police have to roll in first and pave the way for the firefighters to come in? In some areas of our country, yeah, that absolutely has to happen because it's a bad area. But you don't think up in the woods like that. You just don't think about that being the case. And those people on that mountain, the thought of that, the thought that there was somebody around like that, and they couldn't even get off the mountain, And at one point, reports where there were multiple shooters, and lot going on with that. Just unbelievable. Trump further back to the Elon. He further threatens him with deportation. It's amazing how this relationship has fallen apart. I mean, absolutely has fallen apart. But one thing, though, and I said this in a MAGA Minute 3 weeks ago or so. You never want to call out the emperor, so to speak. That's not good. You don't want to go down that road. You don't want to be that person who you don't want to be that person who goes down that road and was in the inner circle. Now you're tearing them down because then they're going to come after you. It's like the hit on Hitler or the Godfather movies or whatever. If you miss, it's going to be war for a while. And he may be rich and powerful, but there's a lot of tools at the president's disposal that he could really absolutely put a hurting on Elon. I won't back off that. It's amazing, how relationships like this happen, and you have people that, and every administration has it. You have people that get on board. They're all there. They're campaigning. They're doing everything they can to get someone elected, and then it doesn't take much sometimes. I mean, relationships are fragile sometimes. Hurt feelings go a long way, even among rich and powerful, and people are, long memories. Some have they don't ever forget, and then they plot a way to get you back, and you have an enemy for life. And we waste, how much energy is wasted sometimes on some of this stuff. And here we have, I mean, two of the most well-known figures in America right now tearing into each other. It's not good for either, and it's not good for America. We'd hope this gets straightened out. But if you've ever been in a friendship that's went south and went sour, that can be one of the most horrible things. And then, or you could be the friend of two people like this. You're friends with both of them, and when you can't never mention the other one. You're around your friends because they hate the other one, and they're kind of mad at you because you hang out with them. Like, they expect you to hate them too, and it could cause problems in your relationship because you're friends with them. And I always say, listen, I care about both of you. I'm friends with both of you. I don't want to be an enemy, but sometimes you can lose two friends. Sure can. You can lose two easily because they both could get mad. They both could have just attacked you for supporting the other, or they find out like, I can't believe you invited them to this party after I can't believe that you invited them to the birthday party after you know what they said about me or whatever. I mean, it's just amazing how quickly things like that can go south. And you're like, hey, we're friends. I mean, I hate that happened. I'm not saying it was right. And so if you're my friend, you wouldn't be around them. You wouldn't hang around them. And you get drugged into the middle of a World War III that you don't want anything to do with. And it really can lead to a total breakdown of some very close friends. And you imagine being on this level and how many of the people that knew both of these men. And now they're kind of stuck because you don't want to anger. Like, what if Elon's your boss? What if you're in the president's administration? What if you're a close confidant or friend? And they're arguing like that. And, next thing you know, there's a picture pop up and you're, together and friendly. And that's how it just falls apart. And I'd say as hot as this one is, there's a lot of that going on. Or people just say, hey, for now, I can't talk to you for a little bit. I'll get back with you later. This is too hot right now. I imagine there's a lot of that. I really do. But they need to get it fixed. They really need to get it fixed. It's really sad that something like that is happening. We would ask your prayers today. We have a case we have to go see for someone very close to us today, and we don't know exactly how it's going to go. We only know limited. By the way, Instagram is suffering issues today. I'm getting messages from StreamYard. It's the first time I've ever seen that message go up. So maybe nobody in Instagram can even hear me right now. So they are working on the issue. They say they're engineers. Nothing that we're doing. That's always good to know. So Instagram issues. I hope everything's okay. How about July 1st birthdays? July 1st birthdays. Princess Diana was born on this day, of course, passed in the tragic accident in 1997, but Princess Diana was born this day. I kind of grew up through that. As a lot of people my age and a little younger, they just remember all that. The wedding and on. Pamela Anderson, 57. She's just slightly younger than me. Pam Anderson, another person that's been in the news a lot, actress and infamous marriages and videos. Dan Aykroyd, always loved me some Dan Aykroyd. 72 years old, strong today. Wow. Absolutely has different points in my life have made me laugh. From Saturday Night Live to the Blues Brothers. and really everything he did with John Belushi. There was two movies that they were in together. To all of his other movies that he's been involved with and TV shows. Dan Aykroyd, 72, still kicking. I like him. Olivia de Havilland, born this day. Legend. There's quite a few actors and actresses today. I'm only mentioning a few. Singer Debbie Harry today, 79 years old. Boy, do I feel old. 79 years old today. Blondie. Remember that, right? There's a few others, but those are the ones that really jump out. Liv Tyler, what is it? 47 today. Rapper Missy Elliott, 53. Boy, there's a lot of people feeling really old in the rap world today. Quite a few entertainers. There's a few other actors and actresses. Birthdays today. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great day on your birthday on this July 1st, 2025. Of course, the holiday this week hopefully you'll have time to get together with family and enjoy some food and fellowship and, yes, fireworks. Be safe. We've had a lot of rain in our region. We should be okay that way. Even though it's been really hot, enough storms have come through that have kept everything pretty wet. So, and even including last night here. So maybe it'll get a little bit more. And so those are things you got to be careful with as you get into, how dry it is. But be careful, injuries and all tick up around this time of year. So they have some, just amazing fireworks show in some of the cities. Boston always puts on an amazing show. I like to watch that on TV. I went to one of those where you go on the field once at a baseball stadium, and that was an interesting perspective. If you've done that, it looks like it's coming almost right down on your head. Usually you're looking at it, it's up and over, but in this case, it was right over us. It's way up in the air, but it looks like as they explode, it looks like it's coming right towards you. Interesting viewpoint to do something like that. And this was a nice show. Many years ago, I did that, and quite a few years ago. I remember the kid. I think the kids were grown at the time, but are very close to it. It's been a long time ago. But that's fun to do as well. And the music, they have the music going, and they time those things. Those are cool. I like stuff like that, and it's pretty amazing. If you get this some water, you get the glow of it, the mirror imaging of it over the water. That's nice too. Unless it's storming, it's not nice. And then you don't get to enjoy that. But I know people that have pets and stuff they don't like. They don't like the storm. They don't like the storms. They don't like the boom of. They don't like the boom of the fireworks. Once again, I'm getting this Instagram. Okay, you've told me 3 times. I get it. They're having trouble. It's okay. I appreciate their communicating to me, though. And over a year of doing, we didn't do Instagram at the very first. We had to learn how to do that. We finally figured it out, but we've been doing it for a long, long time. I mean, probably 10 months or maybe even 11. I've never seen that message pop up. We very rarely have had issues. We've had them a couple of times. Technology, boy, you just got to love it. Today is a new day. If you don't have a Rumble platform, downloading your phone, Rumble app, get that today. It'd be a nice backup for you. Use that. Come in and support us on the Rumble side as well. We do a lot of things. Rumble is very good about defending those free speech and standing on that. So make sure you make the jump over there and at least have the app. And maybe it's reasonable to become a premium subscriber. If you do that during our live, we get credit for that. If you pay by the year, I think it's slightly less than $8 a month if you average it out. It's only maybe $9 or $10 a month if you pay by the month. I think it's $9.99 or something like that. But you can save money. Well, there are a lot of things you pay yearly. Go ahead and knock it out and have it out of the way. You don't have to worry about commercials or anything. You get access to those programs that go premium. I took part of this show and went premium on one side of our Rumble Studio. We have to have those each month, and just something you have to do. We love Rumble, and we have a lot of Rumble friends, and please support our Rumble friends. Our newest platform is Wimkin, Winkin. That's a nice platform. Another one that guarantees free speech, and we have a small but growing number of followers on there. We just started loading videos there. They have a nice platform. It's a nice look. I was watching one that recommended it to me. I was watching her program last night. The look is great. The sound is great. It interfaces really well. I like it. Some of them are a little more ticky. We work with them, but they're not real easy to work with. They're aggravating. But Wimkin that's a nice platform. There's a number of them out there. One of them we don't have hardly nobody following us on. I think has one of the best. I'm not saying it's the best. I don't want to anger my other platforms, but Tumblr has a very nice user interface. The videos, it's the whole thing looks great. But we don't have it's nobody there likes us too much. But we still post there. We try to put as much up as we can. Also, we're trying to grow our MP3 network and followers. We have quite a big network. I think it's 10 or 12 total MP3s that we go to. And we're trying to grow that. I'd say all of them together. I haven't checked them all, probably less than 100 followers. And that's just an untapped potential for us. It's just an area we're just trying to grow in. Anyway, just news and notes. Sign up for our newsletter. Send us an email to the email you see and give us permission. We will promise you. In fact, we haven't sent one out in over a week. We'll be sending another one soon. I was getting some things prepared. I'm trying to wait till I'm working with the company that's setting up our coffee store. And I want to make sure that the Shopify and everything is set. Everything's good. Then we're going to pop that in. I may have to send out one more before we do that, depending on how long it's going to be. I'm looking forward to being able to get our coffees out there. I'm excited about that. We've got the Patriot Morning Blend. That's a good looking logo, if I may say so. We've got Rob's Caramel Coffee. That logo turned out nice too. There's three more for sure, maybe four, and then we're going to add in 2 or 3 more here in the next few days. One I'm really interested in is Uncle Jeb's. If you're not following the Jeb and Bubba show, do that. Uncle Jeb's How Big a Boy Are You blend. It's just called Uncle Jeb's Coffee with the tagline, How Big a Boy Are You? Because that's his tagline. That's what he's saying. He ripped that from the old Roy D. Mercer, but it fits. He doesn't claim that. He just uses it, but I like it. It's funny. And then we have a boot kicker one I like. It's has a kind of an earthy nature, kind of if you're an outdoor person, hiker kind of person, you get outdoors. It has that feel. It's by images by stream with boots and coffee, and I just love the look of it. It's called the Boot Kicker Blend. Because sometimes you just need that kick. Some are light, some are real smooth, some are dark, and very caffeinated. We don't have any decafs, by the way. We'll just do the tea. I mean, if you're going to go decaf. Just go tea. I'm just kidding. I know a lot of people have to. I don't think that the place that we're using actually has but one decaf option. It's just not a big seller for them, so they don't waste their time on it. It's just the way it goes. I think I've only ever had one cup of decaffeinated coffee. It was by accident. I didn't realize it was decaf. I got it by accident. I think somebody had the names switched. Like it's at a hotel or something. They put the wrong one and then fixed it. And I was already drinking. I was like, this coffee is something not right about it. And then they figured it out and said, oh, we got these backwards. I realized I drank decaffeinated. And I was like, well, that's why I don't drink that. No, I drink for a reason. I like this taste of coffee. I love it. I'm a connoisseur of coffee. There's some great blends that we have right now in our arsenal here in the studio, quite a few different ones. And I just bounce between them all, and including ours. I just about used all the samples up that I brought in to check and to use and make sure that we were happy with all the blends. And we've had most of those in. There may be one or two that's going to be out there. We have it, but we'll eventually have them all. That's another thing to be offered. There's 2 or 3 different sample packs that you can get to try some of these blends out, and before you buy, the whole thing. So anyway, we'll announce all that soon. We're actively working behind the scenes, get a lot fixed up. That'll continue throughout this week, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that soon. Uh, Steady as you go, as they say in the Navy. Steady as you go. And oh, we have the actor who says that Iran should build nukes to protect Middle East from U.S. and Israel. I think you're going to see more of this happening. There's just a lot of people. There's a lot of hatred for different things, we'll say, in that Middle East region. And so this teaming up of the U.S. and Israel working together is the backlash is severe sometimes. John Cusack, he's the one that said that. He claims nuclear weapons are the only way to deter U.S. and Israel after Trump's strike on Iranian facilities. Well, okay, buddy. Okay. I can have my opinions about what I think about all the reasons why were they that close about this strike. But there's one thing about it. They have never hid their attitude and intention of what they would do if they got the bomb. And so, you big dummy, you live in the very country they call the Great Satan. Now, whether they would ever get it and could deliver it is another question. But the fact that they have said that they will do that is lunacy for you to say that they should have a nuclear weapon. So does he want the mushroom cloud coming up over Cali, where he lives? I'm sure he lives in Cali. Is that what he wants? I mean, he just looked at it as a deterrence. They've not looked at it as a deterrence. They've looked at it as an offensive weapon to use and have stated their intended desire. And it just kills me, some of these people. Like, again, I've got different opinions about what is all the things that are going on in the Middle East. Sure, there's some political stuff there that I'm not real happy about. But to say that you want them to, I know you're right, broski. They do want. That's what Obama wants. But to say that you want them to have that, not deterrent, you idiot. They're going to use it. My question was just, were they really that close? Because they seem to bounce this stuff back and forth. What? There's a few other things going on, but I have no problem with those places being hit. I have no problem with that. It's just what's our intended goal here. I just don't want to see troops on the ground in Iran. But and I don't want to be, the bully on the block for Israel either, even though I support them. Sometimes they get into stuff that we need to be in, but that's a whole nother issue to me. But this one is that someone would think that it's a good idea for these people whose stated purpose is to destroy two nations and others. And he's so stupid, because I can tell you that there was help given beyond this by other Arab nations who absolutely were cheering that this strike occurred, because nobody can deal with them. They're fanatical. The only ones that can do any business with them is the terrorists. But there's some of the more moderate Arab states over there. They're just as much on the target list as we are. They just wanted to go after Israel and America first, in Israel. Oh, then let's swap out a few of our neighbors. They've stated. I mean, they idiots. If people only knew how much assistance is given, and I don't know the full number, but I know throughout history that many, many stories of assistance that was given by other nations there to help wage and defeat or beat back or whatever you want to say their enemy too. The country of Jordan has been a partner with Israel for a long time. They have a peace agreement with them. They have helped a lot. They have helped Israel a lot, and even going all the way back to Golda Meir. She made a secret mission in there to try to get gather support, garner support. I've read her book, My Life, and she talks about that. So the other nations have definitely stepped up in the region to help against common enemies, and it's their enemy too. It's just they're not going to step out and say it because they don't want to cause backlash on themselves. But those little kings and dictators in those nations, they don't want the mushroom cloud over their little nation either. So they're like, yes, thank you, America. Send us some cash too. And I'm sure there's some cash flowing for help, intelligence, intel, whatever, spies, whatever they can give us. Cusack. Yeah. Why don't you move there for a while, buddy? Take your wife or girlfriend, whatever you got. Let's see how much she likes walking down the streets of Tehran when they come along and take the sticks and zap them or beat them, make them put on more covering. Yeah, go there and run that mouth. Stupidity, absolute stupidity. Talk about living in a bubble. It's a freak bubble. A lot of these actors and people involved in the entertainment industry, they just live in this freak world. It's all fake, and a lot of it's perverted, to be honest. But these are the ones that get on the press. And the press puts a camera in their face and says, "What do you think about this strike by President Trump?" Well, I think Iran should get a nuclear weapon. Why do we care what this guy has to say? He has a right to say it. It's freedom. I get it. But who cares? John Cusack has to say. I mean, good grief. He has been harshly critical of Israel's actions. I get that with Gaza and the war on Iran. Prior to posting support for Iran getting nukes, he appeared to suggest that U.S. support for Israel meant the country was supporting a genocidal regime. There's a lot of people believe that. I understand. That's still no reason to say they should have a nuclear weapon. He wrote, "Blind allegiance for Israel's alliance for a genocidal regime. It's a nation state run by a murderous gangster, not some fixed star." That was his previous post on June 27th at 11:50 p.m. Maybe he should just go to bed. Earlier that he posted that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, has been killing innocent children. He accused the U.S. of being complicit. And it is ugly what's happened in Gaza, but let's not forget what Gaza did, what the terrorists did. And, once those atrocities happened, it was game on. And Israel has been dealing with a lot for a long time. Again, we can debate the right or the wrong of how heavy they went, but they were cheering over there about them flying over. We don't need bombs. We got, gliders and all this stuff. And they were all clapping and living the high life. Nobody was coming out and condemning it on that side. And when the heavy hand came, boy, did it come. That's true. You're absolutely correct. They won't. And it's amazing. And Hamas knows that. So they want the fight to wage on. It's just, they're trying to get their soldiers back together. It is like the game. It is like the mafia, right? I have to go back to this every time, and I know you're a fan. It is like that. It's just like it's like that scene in Godfather 1 where Michael is going to take out, the enemy of his father. And, he's, got to go away. But when can I come back? It'll be a long time, He's talking about how ugly it's going to be for a while. But so these things have to happen every 10 years or so, get the bad blood out, so it's ugly. And you're right. Until those hostages are given up, dead or alive, doesn't matter. It won't stop. So he also condemned both countries for recent strikes in Lebanon. Well, that's the home of Hezbollah. He said, Israel bombs Lebanon. Well, they can't have any days where they're not illegally bombing someone while U.S. grovels. Excuse me. Additionally, Cusack posted that Democratic Socialist Zoran. Well, have you seen the videos of this dude? I was watching another podcaster showing some of his work, we'll call it. New York, you're so stupid. Zoran, I'm sorry, I know there's not everybody in New York is stupid, but the people who voted this clown in, or will be voting in, Zoran Mandani, winning the New York City mayoral Democratic primary, was a FU to billionaires, dim establishment of the genocide in Gaza, the bombing of Iran. He said, this was on June 26th, the day before. Well, he's been very active, just throwing flames, right? He said in the mayor's race in New York, it was a trouncing Hakeem Jeffries district. Cuomo lost by 15,000 votes. No, that wasn't total votes cast. It was a margin of victory. This was a blank you to billionaires, dim establishment of the genocide in Gaza, the bombing of Iran. This guy, he's enjoying his little platform. So he's somebody underneath that comment on X said, you should move to Gaza. The other one said, my grandmother died in Auschwitz. How dare you? John Cusack. He has 1.8 million followers. So he is feeding those 1.8 million with his great knowledge. He posted 4 hours ago, one cannot, unless you see humans as subhuman, the silence of so many I once respected sickens me. Oh. He reposted an article about Amazon using Amazon tech, supposedly being used in genocide in Gaza. He reposted a Dublin, Ireland boycott Israel Free Palestine protest that's going through the streets of Dublin. That from TikTok. He's got some, there's always some Jews that are really willing to get on and bash Israel. He's got one of them. And so it's just continual. And then he's got Elizabeth Warren. He's just living it up, right? A repost from her on how many people will lose health care in your state under Trump's big beautiful bill. She posted Alabama 219,803. What she got for Georgia? 651,540. Are we the leaders on her post? I think we are. Oh, no, New York. We're tied with North Carolina. According to her, Texas and New York are very close. Over 1 million. Hey, broski, Elizabeth Warren puts North Carolina and Georgia together. So he liked that. He liked that post. Oh, boy. He's full of it. I'm telling you, man. He is full of it. I was trying to find the one where he posts a lot, actually. He's been posting a lot, or reposting. He's posted a video of Israel strike on a cafe in Gaza. He reposted Captain Kirk, William Shatner, but it was about his birthday. So if you can stomach it, he's very active. I mean, he has a lot of posts just in the last 24 hours. This is another one from that he has reposted about the big beautiful bill with the claims that it will end healthcare for 16 million, shut 25% of nursing homes, cause 51,000 to die a year, take food from 2 million kids, in 1.75 million blue collar jobs, and then the Pell Grants for 1.4 million, and all to pay for a $975 billion tax break for the top 1%. Oh, and he's got Bernie. He's got Bernie. Yeah, broski, that's what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Well, I got to go, folks. I'm going to help with a watermelon give out today at work, and I need to get that way. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you back tonight. We may have a debut of a show. I got to get together with Jake. We may have a wrestling show. I'm hosting, and he is the expert. Let's talk all things wrestling. It ought to be fun. We're going to do it once a month. See how it goes. I think that's tonight, and there'll be something else we'll do as well. Sports and NASCAR, I think, is Thursday. Dean's got to work, so we'll see you this evening, and have a great day. Think of those things. Blessings to you. Oh my goodness! Sometimes it's fun to just peruse some of these people's stuff and see what they're all about. Take care, my friends. Salute.